Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our TTS Talks Asia and Oceania. Welcome back. We have another discussion about the near future and what can travel agencies expect for this new future post-COVID-19. My name is João Taborda and I am the head of sales at TTS. You already know that TTS is a global leader in the development of innovative solutions for the travel industry, and we have been a partner of Travelport for several years now. We have a global presence. We are present in more than 90 countries, having more than 9,000 customers. The agenda for today will be a brief introduction on the subject about the COVID-19 impact and the outlook for our industry, the speaker panel discussing about the near future for travel agencies, and in the end, a short Q&A session. There are some guidelines. All lines are muted. I kindly ask you to place your questions in the chat panel, and in the end, a recording will be provided to you and also uploaded to our YouTube channel. We have with us today two speakers. I am glad to present Eric from Travelport. He is a General Manager of Agency Commerce Greater China at Travelport. Welcome, Eric. We have also Blaise Vuvul. Blaise is a director at Siale Travel and Tours, and Blaise has more than 15 years in the industry as a technology entrepreneur and available to adopt new technology as TTS, the ones that TTS provides. So I would like to start this session by showing you some statistics about the impact that COVID-19 had in our industry. And everyone knows that it had a huge impact, but it's good to see the numbers and actually assess how much was that impact. So we can see that from Focuswire that actually in the first quarter of 2020, the revenue from distribution activities went down by 47%. And actually in March, the new bookings fell by 70% compared to March 2019. So that's a huge impact. And also on a global perspective, we can see that the global GDP is expected to contract by 5% in 2020. So this is a big impact, and it's not only in the tourism industry. It's an impact that affects all industries, and that everyone is impacted by it and has to do something to live with it. But not everything is bad. We can see from IATA that IATA has some good perspectives for our industry. So we can see that the revenue growth is expected by 37% for next year, almost fully recovering what's expected to be lost in this year. The passenger load factor is expected to be 73.8%. In 2019, just for you to be aware, it was 82%. So we will have planes that fly with less people. Nonetheless, it's a good indicator that people are still willing to fly, and that's very good for everyone. And the last one, it's very important. The global GDP is expected to grow by 7.1% in 2021. So if you remember from the previous slide, the global GDP will contract 5% this year and is expected to grow 7.1% next year. So if we set the two together, we can see that in the 2 years aggregate, the global GDP will grow 2.1%. So these are very good news, and they keep us optimistic about the future of the industry and of the future of the global economy. And let's hope that people still have jobs and money and willingness to travel, as we saw also in the last week in Travelport Recovery Trends webinar. We can see that people are still willing to fly, and that's very good. And we can start now seeing some recovery signals, and that's exactly what we want. That people still have the jobs and the money to pay for their stuff, and to have that job security, but also having the willingness to fly, and that countries lift the restrictions that they have, and that they allow people to do what they want, which is to fly and still make tourism go back again and be great again. So passing the word to my honorable speakers, the first question is for Blaise. And Blaise, we know that the majority of the world has been in lockdown since mid-March due to the COVID-19. And I would like to ask you, how did it impact your business and your staff in regards of productivity, mental health, but not only that, but also how was your personal experience during the COVID-19 lockdown?
Okay, thank you very much. In Papua New Guinea, our experience through the COVID-19, business dropped at least 80 to 90% of business compared to last year. Most of our transactions were based mostly on domestic. After the lockdown, it is slowly coming back on track. With regard to the general business in the business houses in the travel, it was really devastated because travel agencies that went down, some of them are still closed, and some of them just slowly coming back. And you'll see that the major players that were in a better financial capacity sprang up back so quickly. Yeah, with some of the agencies, instead of closing down, they've actually trimmed staff.
Yeah.
So most staffs were laid off. Agencies moved location to office spaces that have suitable rental, to meet the budget.
Yeah.
Otherwise, travel agencies move back to the parent company. The parent company where there was a parent company and they just got an office space that can be able to cater for at least two, that I remember, 2 staff or just 3. Yes, and these are accredited agencies.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was quite sad for us. The ones that went in operating in the non-IATA area, and the guys that we had the product sitting with them, especially TTS Consolidator, yes, they got affected and closed down, but some of them, as soon as the lockdown got cleared, they went back out so quickly. They started selling again because, maybe like I said, the COVID came at a time when the product was just getting introduced. And I remember, I just started introducing the product last year. Yes, so some that, because in PNG, some of the TTS users now were actually experienced travel consultants coming out from the travel agency. And when they knew about the product that, it's never existed in the country, they got that, and they just jump on that. And, I was here, I look after the travel agencies from way back while in the airline, the distributor in PNC, the NDC, which was Guinea, and now holding on to the TTS as a distributor here, there was no problem pitching it. And most of them, because of the knowing each other in the industry, it was easy for us to pitch the product and sell it out. Yes. So, but overall, it's just slowly coming back on track. We are just domestic right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your feedback, Blaise. And I believe that's the perspective all over the world, that we are seeing that the majority of the countries went in lockdown, and now the countries are seeing some recovery in regards of internal domestic flights and everything. And actually the most important thing that I want for people to retain from what you said, it's that actually the travel agents, when they can, they jumping straight away selling tickets, which means once again that people have the willingness to travel. And actually the only thing that we need is that countries reopen borders, to let everyone fly through to where they want, and travel agents they will still have a pretty important role in selling all those tickets, because they have the connections with the travelers. That's very good, Blaise. Thank you so much. So Eric, for the next question, I would like to ask you in regards of Travelport. How has Travelport been supporting the agencies during the past few months?
Sure. Thanks, Joel. So, hi everyone, I'm Eric. So I look after the Greater China, so which basically means China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. So to me, we actually see how, where, and when it started, and what stage are we in. So I think from our perspective, our support has been evolving in line with the needs of our partners, because I think when all this begins, we were in a crisis phase, and now we can see we are in the recovery phase. So for the crisis phase, I think it's talking about 4 to 5 months ago. So when everything started, all the booking drop, all the cancellation appear, and all the panics everywhere. So what we have done is we have the data, we have the relationship, we have the information. So we set up the first, we call it COVID-19 resource hub for our partners and agents. So within the hub, our partners and agents and customer can find all the useful information, such as the airline policy trackers, hotel policy and car policy, as well as some support links and best practice. And apart from that, actually, we also offer some consultancy section to our customer and partners. So something like the meetings, of course, we had a lot of virtual meeting with our air partners, train partners, or car partners, hotel partners, to see how we should cooperate each other. And then the other thing is training. Unsurprisingly, I think online space and the virtual training, it's very important. And I think I think over last 4 to 5 months, from the report, we can see there were over 100% growth in terms of the virtual training, number of attendance, everything, because I think everywhere is locked down. So, but then we still need to work and do the business or do the cancellation for the customers. So that's why training is important. Also, we cooperate with the World Travel and Tourism Council because they want to develop a safe travel protocol for aviation. So we, of course, we work with them and contribute some information to them. So hopefully we have some safe protocol for the travel in coming months and hopefully coming months until the vaccine come out. And so it's really a very interesting moment for the crisis place, because we need to work out everything in a really quick turnaround time. So now we can see we're really in a recovery phase. Like I said, from what I see in China, of course, the domestic travel has been resumed. Our hotel segments, we are growing, so we can see some really good pickup. Of course, not yet to the normal level, but we can really see the light. I think it's good to everyone for knowing that. And then for the recovery phase, and also one interesting thing is we found that what we have developed or done, it's actually work for the agents at the moment. Say for example, of course, the mobile device, it's really working, and all the agents, they love it. And then we also have the retailing tools. What does that mean? It's something like before the COVID, for the rich content and branding, it's a function for the airlines or the agents to upsell for the customer. But then now we are getting more requests from airlines and hotels that they want to put some, say for example, Marriott, IHG, they put the clean room policy in the platform so that agents can easily show it to the agents. They don't need to leave the terminal and find the hotel website. And same as airlines. Before that, they used that rich content and branding for upselling or cross-selling. Now they put all those information like how frequently they clean the aircraft, how contactless they provide for check-in. So it's really interesting, and we found that the tools and function we develop is really working. And of course, another thing is exchange and refund. I think all the agencies, they're facing this issue because of the flight cancellation. They have to do a lot of flight ticket exchange and refund. So we are working with Atypical to bring in some emergency flexibility solution. And we have also extended ticket and fare validity from originally 13 months to 2 years. So yeah, this, and also we have a newly launched, or we call it COVID-19 smartphone plugin. So it's a plugin that the agents can, when they open the smartphone, our sales terminal, they can find all the government policies, quarantine period, safety measure, social distancing rules in this plugin. So we can see we are really seeing the situation is now changed from the crisis to recovery. So hopefully we can see a full recovery really soon. Yeah, so that's an overview of what we have done in past months to help the airline partners and our agency.
Thank you so much, Eric. It was a very detailed explanation. And actually, it's good to hear from you because you are always one step ahead of us.
Not a good thing, but yeah, we can see, at least we see some light coming out.
Yeah, exactly. If you are already seeing some recovery, it means that it's expected at least that throughout the world we will start seeing the same thing. And hopefully it will be that. I just wanted to stress some things that you said in regards of the COVID hub, that Travelport was actually the first GDS to implement the COVID hub, which has received a huge feedback from your subscribers and from our customers. they found that the airline policy tracker was very good, and it helped them to be more productive and not having to navigate throughout all the airlines' websites. I'm very glad as well that the Travelport mobile agent was featured there for obvious reasons. And also one of the things it's very important that you said, the rich content and branding is a Travelport product that I always advise travel agencies to subscribe because it brings additional value. And even for the airlines, as you were mentioning, they are using it in another way. It was intended, as you said, to provide other options, additional options, upsell, check what's included, what's not included, and now airlines and hotels are also using it in an informative way. So it's a good example how things evolve and how quickly Travelport adapted to answer the needs of the travel agents and to keep the travel agents with a productive solution that they have everything in their SmartPoint, especially now with the SmartPoint COVID-19 plugin, which was launched, I believe, last week. And now the travel agents don't even need to go to the COVID hub because they have it directly in SmartPoint, and that's great. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
So my next question would be for Blaise, and I would like to ask you, we have seen in the past travel agency directors like yourself that love new technology, but face some resistance from the travel agents to adopt those technologies. Because in some cases, especially, TTS Consolidator, as they change the way that people work, I would like to ask you if you feel that your team, your customers are more willing to adopt new technologies, new procedures to support and enhance their business.
Yes, definitely my team is open to new technology, and we are willing to learn every new technologies that come by, which will help reduce employees' workload and mostly automate processes, in the agency business. And I see, yes, while it's different with other agency, business owners, the directors, I think it is maybe there is a big gap with us in travel agents in PNC that there is not so much of awareness to the agency industry that there are technologies out there. There are technologies out there that can work better, reduce workloads, and most importantly, you work from home. You don't have to. It can reduce overhead costs, office rental and all that. Like TMA, mobile application and TTS Consolidator.
Yeah.
TTS Consolidated, and this is in this country. There is a very big gap. It's not here. From my experience, while I was in the NDC, which we were trying our best to tell our management before when Travelport was with the NDC, which was the only airline in the country owned by government. The management of the NDC couldn't allow that. And I can see why they couldn't allow it, because they saw that the agencies were a direct competitor to the NDC and the only airline. I mean, the NDC was the airline, you see. Yeah, so I think if we had moved Travelport back then, up until 2017, that it was a separate office, totally separate from the airline, then I think by now there would been a change, and travel technology would be here. And I mean, some examples is, we couldn't push it further while, we saw that as employees in the NDC, we couldn't go out and support the agencies. And what was what our time in the NDC, and like for myself, technology, I was passionate about it, and I just have to leave. I can't move the airline, I can't change them. So what is it? I have to go out and that's it. Just quit job and I'll try it. And I tried to become an NDC myself, but I couldn't because you can't have two NDCs. Yeah, but that was how I saw it. It was good, and agencies are still the same, and this is very unfortunate for us here in this region. Agencies are still the same and doing the same old things. Directors out there, but you come now with the technology to change them, it will be a bit hard because they believe they are answerable to the airline, because unfortunately here we only have one bigger airline that is owned by government. That there is no other airlines that's bigger. So it's a very unfortunate for this market. But I've tried this as an agency outside and brought in applications like TTS products, and that worked. Worked, and I can see that there is a market. There is definitely a market, but and it's not difficult to change the perspective of agencies out there, owners. It is not difficult, but you just have to preach it, and we need that support. Unfortunately, we can't say much in here because the only this is the only airline that controls. I mean, it's got international flights, and there is no others that it can compete with, and you can't compete with that, So really, it's sad that
but it's,
we want to.
It's good to hear your feedback that you feel that people are willing now to adopt more technology, that people now are more available to see some webinars about new technologies, to try to change a little bit the way that things were made. As Eric mentioned, people are now assisting more webinars, going to more live trainings. So that's also a positive thing. And you being a keen adopter of technology and a distributor of TTS Consolidator, I believe that you will also see that that despite it's always hard to change the way that people do things. Maybe they have done it in the past 10, 20 years that way. But now you can show them that there are actually better ways of doing stuff, and I believe, and at least that's the feedback that we have been receiving, that actually people are more available now to adopt new technologies.
Exactly. That's and that is good. That is good for the market. Thank you. Yeah,
exactly. Thank you so much, Blaise.
Thank you.
So my next question will be for Eric, and I would like to ask you, so we have seen in the previous crisis moments and also in COVID-19 that the travelers that had the best customer service were the ones that booked their trips in a travel agency. And we have already seen that in the past when there was the ash cloud from Finland, where many travelers were left stranded, and the ones that had booked their flights through a travel agency, they were able to get on board the bus and reach home and they had all the assistance from their travel agency. Then the ones that booked directly from an airline did not have. So, and this is to ask you if due to that you foresee a distribution more focused on the GDS and not so fragmented as we have seen in the previous years, with and now GDS regaining importance in the distribution of the air content.
Okay, thanks, Joao. I think actually I think it will be similar. I think it is from the market share before and after COVID, because of course I'm sure quite a lot of customers they want some more assurance consultancy by speaking to a professional travel consultant before they get the ticket. But then on the other hand, we also think that some customer may feel more covered by booking directly with the airlines or hotel. So it will be similar. But then I think what's more important and after the COVID, it will be a collaboration, because especially for this rest of the year, I think we will be in a recovery phase. The recovery speed is really different from market to market, from airlines to airlines, because the local policies from government and airlines or hotel, they may be very different and at a very different speed. So that's really important to make sure our partners and our agents and our customer, they are aligned, and make sure they have the most up-to-date information before they make booking or even after booking. So that's also why I mentioned in the previous question that we believe there will be a very strong industry recovery, but then we need to make sure all the information are ready, are in place for our agency and also for our partners. And also, and the second thing is we need to make sure we have the flexibility and efficiency for some functions like air ticket refund and exchange, because even though I think even though the airspace open again, on the border open again, but because I think at least in this year, this situation and the COVID may be up and down for quite a while. So the policies may really change on daily basis on even. So that's really important. And also that's why apart from that, the safety information is also important. So as I said, the resource hub and also the COVID-19 plug-in in smartphone, they're really great resources, because I can imagine if a customer go to the agent or the customer go to the OTA website, they need to make sure they can travel. They want to make sure after they purchase a ticket, they can go to the airport and not rejected by the check-in counter. So the collaboration and cooperation are really more important in this year at least.
Thank you so much, Eric. And one of the things that I would like to highlight, especially the information. I believe that now travel agents will play a major role in that consultancy service, as you were mentioning, delivering more and more information. People will have questions, more questions than usual, which is normal due to these times of uncertainty. And travel agents will play a major role in answering those questions with clear and precise information. And due to that, I strongly believe that people will rely more on travel agents instead of booking themselves and finding the information through the internet and navigating throughout the websites. and you know how is the internet. One website says one thing, another one says another thing.
Exactly.
And that's why having a professional like a travel agent plays a major role in this situation, and ensures that people are safe. And when they go travel, they feel safe because they know that their professional travel agent delivered all the information that they need, handled everything that they need, and they are good to go. They just need to pack their bags and go on vacations. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
Blaise, the next question touches a little bit on the same subject, and I would like to ask you, do the travel agents that survive this crisis will have a resurgence because people have realized the value of having a human to deal with all the uncertainties of travel?
Okay, for us in Papua New Guinea, travelers will always deal directly with a travel agent. That's it. Not so much of online. They would prefer to come, walk in, and be satisfied talking to a travel consultant. And that is how it's been, and that is what is going forward post-COVID. And there's not so much change. There will be not so much change in that scenario. And like, you know, the products are there, but like I said previously, people have to be educated. People have to be educated, but the preference now is into a walk-in. People always walk into a travel agent. That has been the trend, and that will be the trend. Maybe it will change after this. That yes, online products are popping in, and that is especially because one of the factor that was never allowed with people to have, that was online payments, having to have debit cards and Visa cards. You know, that is gradually getting introduced to the majority of the population by the banks, and that is enabling that some online payments they go directly to websites, but the majority of the population prefer walking into a travel agent, and that will take some time. That will take some time to change.
And actually, we don't want that to change. I believe that we want people to still rely on travel agents to make their bookings, to answer all their doubts, instead of people being on their own online, making the booking and searching for information, when they have travel professionals that know stuff, and and actually are happy to advise the travelers what are the procedures, what can they take, what can't go, when it's where they can make the COVID-19 test. So all of that information, travel agents are happy to deliver that to the travelers. So we don't want that to change. We want people to go more and more to travel agencies, and that's why I was asking you, and it's good to hear that in Papua New Guinea, people still rely a lot in travel agents and in the human touch, and hopefully they will rely more in this situation. That's good. Yeah. Thank you so much, Blaise.
Thank you.
So my next question will be for Eric, and I would like to ask a general question. We know that travel agencies are reopening, travel agents are slowly going back to the workplace, and airspace is starting to reopen. And knowing this, I would like to ask you, which tourism segment will recover soon, leisure or corporate?
Yeah, I think it's ongoing debate for this question, but I think to us, we actually think leisure will come back stronger than corporate travel, at least in the coming months, because I think for the corporate, most of them, they're facing the financial crisis. It's obviously,
Yeah.
right? So they cut all the budget and even the headcount. So I don't think they can recover that soon in short term. And also because I think um, most of the organization, they will put safety first. They will put people first. And I'm sure they don't want to put the people at risk. So yeah, because they want to make sure they're just safe and not affected or inflated by the COVID. That's really important. So I think leisure on the other hand, leisure is more flexible for most of the travelers because I think after the lockdown, I think everybody feel that we really want to see someone, see friends, families, relatives once the border open up. So we are more flexible. Of course, we if we know some places are still in dangers or at risk, I will try to avoid it. But if it's possible, I still want to see them. I want to visit parents, visit families. So, and also from the budget perspective, it's also more flexible because I think they can have a lot of choices. It's very different from before COVID. People are fighting for a seat because in peak season, it's really difficult to get a seat unless you pay a really high airfare. But now I think they have more choice. Of course, if the demand come up, the airfare will go up. And also, I think domestic travel is one of the change before the borders of all the countries are open up. People talking about staycation. Even for Hong Kong, we are in small place, small city. We are also talking about staycation in somewhere, maybe near the theme park, find a hotel to have a getaway weekend. So I think domestic travel it will be recovered first. But then, of course, it's really talking about in short term. But once all the borders open up, corporate, I'm sure it will be back because we are human beings. Face-to-face meeting is really important to us. We need human contact before we can confirm a deal, we can negotiate or build relationship. So I think I'm sure corporate will come back. Just if we are talking about who come back first, I think leisure will come back first. Yeah, but anyway, I think agency connecting to us, they can get all the information and we are ready. So hopefully they will come back soon, no matter leisure or corporate.
It's true. We want that comeback, even if it's from corporate, whatever, international. But I agree with you that probably domestic, for the obvious reasons, will recover first. But hopefully comeback will come from all sources and not only from domestic.
Right.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Welcome.
My next question will be for the both of the speakers, and as you are already on the line, I would like to start with you, Eric. Which trends do you see for the future of travel agencies post-COVID-19?
I think this COVID crisis make us really think about what our customers want, what our partners want, what our travel agents want. And I think there are several key things that are important. I think first thing is multi-source content. So when I visit some agents, when they were listening some call from their customers, and they are busy to open different website, different government page to get the information, and open the airline website, open the GDS. So I think that's really important. We get all the resources in a single place. So we need to make sure our customer, they have the one-stop shop, and then the multi-source content, they are available on this platform. And then the second one is, I think the retailing excellence is also important because as you mentioned in the previous question, maybe after the COVID, customer, they may want to talk to a professional travel consultants more than before. And then that may be actually a good chance and opportunities for our customer, the agents, to cross-sell or upsell the products. So that will be important. And then of course, if we can do the upsell and cross-sell, that means for every single trip, our agency customer, they can earn more, get more profit because we can do the cross-sell and upsell. Yeah, so I think that will be important for the post-COVID-19.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric. And the same question for you, Blaise. Which trends do you see for the future post-COVID-19 for travel agencies?
For us here in the country, travel agents are still and will still play a big role in the travel, in the general travel for the public. It is now like the general public prefer the preferences of get that knowledge, and like especially right now is still domestic. They prefer to talk to a travel agency, and they can't get that type of information so much from the airline travel officer, because I think the interaction between the traveler and the travel consultant is the key there. Is the key there, and with the type of knowledge passed. So in my experience and what I can see, travel agents will still play a big role in the travel for us here. Though for us right now, in the domestic market, people now are using travel agencies. Not so much of the airline sales services, because one thing for sure, there is that big queue. There is that big queue that is never ending, and though sometimes we see that the travel agents don't get a fair deal, because the airlines now, the seats, the airlines themselves are doing the special deals, and which the travel agents can't, because the fares are manufactured by them. So though the agencies get this as it's a bit unfair, they are surviving, and they'll still go. And companies and organizations, both corporate and government, they go to travel agents, and this is a fact. They go to travel agents. So agencies, and what I like to see, and how I'm seeing that the progress of the travel agents business must grow. It is here, and we just have to market it forward. Get everybody. I mean, especially non-IATA agencies. Now we have products out there that they can do the same, like especially like the TTS Consolidated. Before, agencies that were non-IATA, they go to the airlines and book, and now the products like TTS Consolidated has changed that, and we are pulling with agencies that I've seen. sign up with TTS Consolidated, the clients, the following to a special travel consultant that came out from a travel agent, just pull them, and a corporate customer, and they still goes to a travel agent. They don't go to the airline. So yeah, it is good to see that the travel agency business will be here to stay, and we just have to increase more and like automate them,
Yeah.
and we can have a fair balance of business in the industry. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Blaise. And I believe that those are two major trends. People relying more and more in travel agents, and from the travel agency perspective, adopting more technology to automate some procedures and be more productive and more ready to recovery and to deliver the customer expectations in a more efficient way. That's very good. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you both for your kind answers and very detailed. I believe that you brought us many valuable feedback. And now moving onward to the Q&A session, I would like to hand the word to Inês, which is our marketing manager. And I know that we have several questions in the chat panel, and I would like to ask Inês to place one question to both speakers, and all the other questions I will reply to them offline.
Okay, thank you, João. Hello, everyone. So I will start with Blaise. I have here a question from Michael that says, what new services will travel agencies customer need or demand?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yes, yeah, of course. What new services will travel agencies customers need or demand?
The needs or demands.
New services,
Okay.
yeah.
New service. Well, definitely technology, automated technology, the tools that will enhance that business. In here, in PNG, it is out there, and we, from that background, we can see it, but agencies are not accessible to that. So with us, we just have to put and educate the agency owners that there is a tool here, you know, and it comes back to the distributors, you know, the CDS owners that, hey, you've been using this particular CDS like Travelport, all this stuff. There are tools out there that can enhance your business. There are products out there. And yes, there's some agencies that have, which is, you know, and they've actually grown because these are inside, and some, unfortunately, because, you know, whether they can't accept the change or it's just not mentioned. It's not mentioned so that they can be aware that, okay, I can see that maybe we haven't marketed it enough, the tools that can enhance the travel agency business. Yeah, so I believe it will go. It will change the way we do business in the country, and this is why, you know, I like me is distributing TTS. I can see that it can make a very big impact. It can make, and I can at the moment is standardizing. You know, we have 21 towns in this particular country. We are concentrating in the biggest city, but there is businesses out there in the other 19 provinces, and technology and the product needs to go out, because then everybody in those provinces still come back. Oh, and now by the use of email and phone call and website, they just get, you know, we just advertise. We know not so much of online products, but they just get the link and the email, and they book tickets with email or phone call, and that's it. So it needs to go out as well, out of the main city, because people from the outside of the provinces are traveling into the city to do business, because that's where most of the government offices are, and they need to go back out there. but all the bookings come back to the main city, which is, we need to get the travel agency products out there. Yes, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Blaise. The next question is for Eric. I have a question here from Joanne that says, are group tours over forever, and will they give away to more solitary DIY travel? Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't think so because like in Hong Kong, Hong Kong is still locked down because of the recent spike of the COVID-19. Before that spike, actually, we had 0 cases in 21 consecutive days. But then, all now we stop and think about the new policies. But then actually before that, the government actually and the travel trade here is thinking about the tour is actually more safe than FIT travel in the recovery stage, because for group tour, that's easier managed when comparing with FIT, because if a group of 10, all the itinerary has been scheduled, so the destinations government, they know where are they and are they at risk, so that's actually easier managed. So of course, I think in the younger age, they still prefer the FIT because they want to collect all information before they decide where to go and when to go. But I don't think the group tour will over. Actually, I think it will maybe better than the FIT, at least in the recovery stage. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I will now pass the word to my colleague João.
Thank you so much, Ines, and thank you for your valuable answers, both Eric and Blaise. I believe that this was an awesome session, and I would just like to finish this presentation by showing you a little bit more for those of you that don't know the full suite of TTS products. We have products that cater all the needs of travel agencies, from Travelport Mobile Agent, which is the official application for Travelport subscribers to access the GDS on the go, to TTS Web Agent, which is the web-based solution to access the GDS on any web-based device. So any desktop, laptop, smart TV, you can access your GDS in there. TTS Corporate, which is our corporate booking tool. It was and it still is the first premium solution in the world that allows the corporate companies to use and travel agencies to deploy the solution with a free model, and then as they grow, they can start adding some more add-ons. So it was a great and disruptive solution for the corporate market. To TTS Consolidator, which actually was the first solution launched by TTS almost 10 years ago, which is a solution, as Blaise mentioned, that automates the relation between the consolidator agency and their sub-agencies and gives the autonomy that the sub-agencies need and deliver a better service to their customers. Also, I would like to invite you to our webinars. You can register in tts.com/webinars. Tomorrow, I will host a webinar about the ultimate corporate travel experience, where I will show TTS Corporate, but I will also speak a little bit about the corporate industry, as we were speaking before, and you will have access also to some interesting statistics about the industry. It will be tomorrow, the 16th of July. And I would like to thank you all for attending this webinar. I believe it was a great session. Don't forget to follow TTS on the social media, in LinkedIn, Facebook, We will also share the recording of this session on our YouTube channel, and follow our blog where we post regularly opinion articles by myself and other industry opinion makers. And we are always delivering valuable information from the industry. Once again, Eric, Blaise, thank you so much for your presence. I believe that the attendees got very valuable information from your side. And everyone, stay safe, take care, and let's return back to fly and to tourism. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.